Hi everybody, 11 Institute welcomes all the students of Standard 10 to chapter number 11 of Science, and we are today in video lecture number 4, and today we will discuss a very important topic that is about the prisms, and we shall see the two aspects of light that happen due to the prism. One simply is refraction and second one is the dispersion. Right, we are going to see about the refraction and dispersion. Both of them are caused by the prism. Refraction is very much clear to us, and dispersion means splitting of light into different colors. Right, so let us begin. First we will discuss about refraction, and secondly we will discuss about dispersion. Now this refraction will be almost similar to the refraction that is done by glass slab. There are few changes because of the difference in the shape of a glass slab and the shape of a prism. Rest the story is same. Fine, so let us move ahead and start today's video lecture with refraction of light through a prism. Right, a triangular glass prism. Well, let us first study about prism. A triangular glass prism has two triangular bases and three rectangular lateral surfaces. Now this should be quite clear to you that prisms have how many surfaces? Prisms have 5 surfaces. A prism has 5 surfaces, out of which 2 are triangular and 3 are rectangular. I hope this is quite clear to you. Let me draw over here. I will try my best to draw. Fine, but we are having 5 surfaces for a prism. So first of all we will draw the triangular base over here, and you have learned this before. You have seen such an image or diagram before. Suppose I will draw a triangular base over here. Fine, now we shall draw it like this. I hope you can recall this. This is a rectangle, right, like this. And here I will draw another triangle, and now we shall join these surfaces also. Sorry, I will have to erase over here. I hope this is quite clear to you. So this is the first triangle. Here you can see the second triangle. Right, now this is one rectangle over here. Here you can see another rectangle, this one. This is second rectangle, and one rectangle is at the base. Right, so three rectangular surfaces and two triangular surfaces. Total 5 surfaces make the prism, and this angle between the two rectangles or two lateral surfaces is known as the angle of prism. This is known as angle of prism. Fine. Let me show you a better image, right? First triangle, second triangle, first rectangle, this one, second rectangle, this one, and third rectangle at the base. You can clearly see that. And this angle between any two lateral surfaces, right? This angle is known as the angle of prism, right? It is known as angle of prism. I hope this is quite clear to you. These surfaces are inclined to each other. You can see they are inclined to each other. એક surface બીજા surface ની ઉપર support માં ઊભો છે. They are inclined. નમેલા છે એક બીજા તરફ. The angle between its two lateral faces is called the angle of prism. This is one lateral face, this is second lateral face, and this angle is known as angle of prism. Similarly, this angle is also known as angle of prism. Right, between any two lateral surface, this angle is also known as angle of prism. First lateral surface, second lateral surface, right? So I hope this is clear to you. You are clear about what is a prism, triangular prism, and what do we mean by angle of prism. This is important for one mark question. They can ask, what do you mean by angle of prism? Moving ahead, let us now see an experiment to understand the refraction of light through a prism. Fine. This is exactly similar to the refraction by a glass slab. Only difference is that in a glass slab the shape is rectangular, here the shape is triangular, and hence we feel some differences in image formation. Don't be confused by this image. It is not at all tough. Just observe and just focus on what I am trying to say or what I explain. See, this is the prism which is made up of glass, and we name this triangle as ABC. Fine. What we have to do is we have to take a prism. We have to take a prism and place it on a plain paper. Suppose this is a plain paper and you place the prism on it just upright like this. Right, this triangular portion is over here and this is your prism, suppose. Right, you have to place your prism like this on the paper. Right, suppose this is paper and you are placing your prism like this. I hope this is clear to you, or should I draw it once again? Let me draw it once again. This is the paper, right? And you are placing the triangular surface on the piece of paper like this. I hope this is now clear to you. You are placing this on a piece of paper. Now what you will do is you will, with a pencil, you will take a pencil and we will highlight this portion, or we will draw a triangle with the help of pencil on the paper. Right, and we will mark this as A, B, C. I hope this is now clear to you. What do we mean by ABC over here? Fine. Now what you have to do is you have to simply draw an incident ray over here as per our wish. But before drawing the incident ray, we want to draw the normal. So this n dash is nothing but the normal to the surface AB. What is this? This is surface AB. I will write over here surface. Right, this is surface 1, suppose. Surface AB. And this is the normal to that surface. Right? Normal to that surface. And now we place an incident ray over here. As per our wish, you can draw it anywhere. Suppose I draw an incident ray over here. Now after drawing the incident ray, what we have to do is we have to place two pins. This is the first pin, which is named as P. This is the second pin, which is named as Q. So we will place one pin over here and suppose another pin over here. These are the two pins that we will place in front of the prism. Now compare this. This is the actual prism and this is the diagram that we are seeing. After placing the pins over here, I will come over here and I will observe from here. My drawing is not that good. Very sorry for that. But we will observe from here. Right, this is our eye. And we will observe. We will try to find the image from here. We will move this side, we will move this side, and we will adjust ourselves such that these two pins appear in a straight line from here. Now just recall what we studied in the rectangular glass slab. In case of rectangular glass slab, the slab was like this. There was a normal over here. There was an incident ray over here and there were pins over here, and we were trying to see the image from here. We were observing the image from here, right? And we moved this way and we moved this way and we adjusted to a position. We stopped at a position where these two pins appeared in a straight line to us like this, and we marked the emergent ray. Same thing you have to do over here. Only thing is, here the first surface is this side and second surface is on this side. So we have to observe from over here and we have to stop at a position where you can see that these two pins are in a straight line. And when I see it from here, when I observe from here, I can see that I get the image of Q over here and I get the image of P over here. Or when I look from here, I can see that these two pins are in a straight line over here, or their image is on a straight line over here. So here I will place another two pins R and S, and these two pins represent what? R represents the image of Q and S represents the image of P. I hope this is clear to you. I will put a short video in our WhatsApp group by which it will be quite clear to you what I am trying to say. Right? So R is the image of Q and P is the image of S. So we get the image of these both over here due to the refraction that is caused by the prism. Due to refraction over here, there was lateral shift in case of glass slab. But here we can see this is bent, right? The objects are over here and the images are over here. So this ray has undergone refraction multiple times. Now what we have to study is just the refraction, how the refraction is occurring. So that is quite simple. Right, refraction is a simple rule. When a ray of light travels from one transparent medium to another transparent medium, it will either bend towards the normal or it will bend away from the normal depending upon the two types of media at the surfaces. So this is the surface. Inside this we are having glass, and outside here we are having air. So air is a rarer medium and glass is a denser medium. So when a ray of light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it will bend towards the normal. It will bend towards the normal. See, if this glass was not present, this ray would have traveled in this straight line. It would have traveled in this straight line. Let me change the color. Right, this would have traveled in a straight line if this prism was not present. But as I put the prism in between, here is a surface which separates air and glass. So this incident ray, instead of moving in a straight line, it will bend towards the normal. See, this was going like this, but now it has bent over here. This is the normal, so it has bent towards the normal. Right. So what is EF? EF is refracted ray. What is PQ? Or what is PE? PE is incident ray. What is EF? EF is refracted ray. It is refracted ray for surface number 1. Now again think over here, this is glass, and outside the glass here we are having air, and air again is a rarer medium. Now this refracted ray becomes incident ray for this surface. What is this? This is surface number 2. Right, this is surface number 2. I will write over here. Surface number 2. Fine. So now for this surface 2, this refracted ray becomes incident ray. It would have traveled in a straight line like this. It would have traveled in a straight line like this. But there is a surface separating two media. Here there is glass, here there is air. This ray has to travel from a denser medium to a rarer medium. So it will bend away from the normal. From denser medium to rarer medium. So it will bend away from the normal. Now see, this is the normal. Right, this is the normal. The ray would have traveled like this, but it is bending away from the normal. This is the normal and it has bent away from the normal. Here it is bending towards the normal. Right, this is the normal. The ray has bent towards the normal. Here the ray has bent away from normal. from denser to rarer, and we get the ray like this. So this Fs is nothing but the emergent ray. The ray which we are seeing over here is emergent ray. So be very clear. This is incident ray. This is refracted ray, and this is the emergent ray. Here, from rarer medium to denser medium, the ray has bent towards the normal. Here, from denser medium to rarer medium, the ray has bent away from normal, and we get the image formation over here. Right? So, now for a minute, I will remove all this as it is now quite clear to you and focus over here. Simply, what I can say that this ray was traveling like this. I will highlight it, and it would have traveled in a straight line only like this, right? I am making the line bold. આ રે બિચારી સીધે સીધી અહીંયા જ જવાની હતી. એનો path change ન જ કરત. But what we have done, we have placed a prism in between. So there is a two-step refraction over here. First refraction and second refraction, but we are going to see the final effect. What is the final effect? The ray was going like this, but it has now bent like this. This is the emergent ray that we are seeing over here. I will highlight that also. Right, this is the emergent ray that we have. Now if I elongate this over here, right, you can see an angle forming over here, which is marked by D. What does this angle show? That this ray was going in a straight line like this, but when I place a prism in between, the ray gets refracted and now it will move like this. So this ray has deviated. What word I can use? This ray has deviated. It was going in a straight line, but it has deviated. Fine, and this angle is known as the angle of deviation. The angle by which a prism can deviate its incident ray is known as angle of deviation. How much deviation can occur? That angle is known as the angle of deviation. You can compare this with glass slab. This was glass slab. Here it was normal. Here also it was normal. This ray was moving like this, and it would have moved in the straight line, right? But instead of moving in the straight line, there is double refraction. One time refraction occurs like this, and second time the refraction occurs like this. So there is lateral shift over here, right? In case of rectangular glass slab, there was lateral shift. Why? Due to double refraction. The ray was moving in a straight line. Now also it is moving in a straight line, but with a gap, right? But with a gap, due to which everything feels like it has shifted upwards when we see them, right? When we see the surface of a swimming pool, or when we see the bottom of a swimming pool from its surface, we feel that the surface has moved up due to this lateral shift. This lateral shift is synonymous to the angle of deviation over here. So in glass slab there is lateral shift. In case of prism there is deviation. Here also this ray was moving in a straight line, but due to multiple refractions now it is moving in a straight line like this. Its path has changed, right? This is changed by an angle over here. You can see the angle between incident ray and the emergent ray, and this angle D, is known as angle of deviation. Now what do you think? What controls the value of angle deviation? This value will be smaller, larger. On what thing is it dependent? It is dependent upon the angle of prism, right? It is dependent upon the angle of prism and the material filled inside the prism, right? If suppose this is a prism like this, having triangular base like this, and I am having another prism like this, so here angle of prism is more, Here angle of prism is less. So depending upon the difference in this angle of prism, there will be difference in the angle of deviation also. I hope this is quite clear to you. How the image formation occurs, for that I will put up a small video. I will try to put up in our group. Right, but I hope this should be crystal clear to you. I don't understand why students skip this in exam. Every now and then I have seen students skipping this portion in exam. They do not read it. They say that this is quite complex. There is nothing complex, dear friends. See, if you feel that this diagram is complex to draw, I will show you how to draw this. Just draw a triangle like this. Then draw a normal over here with the help of protractor having 90°. Now this is the incident ray at any angle. Now draw the refracted ray. Right. Now again draw a normal over here such that the angle is 90. Right. Now measure this angle. Suppose this angle is 60°. Then measure an angle over here also which is at 60° and draw your emergent ray. See, always this will not be 60°. Make it very clear. Always this incident angle and this emergent angle will not be 60 degrees. It depends upon type of prism. We are just taking an example to draw this diagram perfectly. Don't be confused. This is the emergent ray. Now when you have cleared this, what you have to do is you have to just elongate this, and you have to just elongate this, and angle between them is angle of deviation d. Now it is looking complex, but before drawing you should not be confused that no, this is tough. This is not at all tough, my dear friends. Right? It is very much clear. Now simply we will see what is given in textbook. As shown in the figure, PE is incident ray, EF is refracted ray, and FS is the emergent ray. Incident ray, refracted ray, and this is the emergent ray. A ray of light is entering from air to glass at the first surface AB. This is the first surface AB. Here the ray of light is entering from air to glass, so it will bend towards the normal. See, this has bent towards the normal, right? Towards the normal. At the second surface AC, this ray of light has to move from glass to air, right? From glass to air, so it will bend away from normal. You can see this ray has bent away from normal. This is the normal and it has bent away from it. Fine. The peculiar shape of prism makes the emergent ray bend at an angle to the direction of incident ray. Now this is a very much important point. The shape of the prism makes the emergent ray, this is the emergent ray, bend at an angle to the direction of incident ray, which means that this was the original direction of incident ray, but now this light ray has bent over here as an emergent ray, so there is an angle between them, and this angle is known as the angle of deviation. This angle is known as angle of deviation. Don't be confused between angle of prism and angle of deviation. This is angle of prism, the angle between two lateral surfaces of prism, and this is the angle of deviation, right? The angle between the incident ray and the emergent ray. I hope this is quite clear to you, right, about the angle of deviation. Fine. So there are two aspects with the prism. The number one is refraction and the second one is dispersion. Right. In order to avoid confusion, I am distributing these topics. So today's lecture will be limited to the refraction of light by the prism. Right. Refraction of light by the prism. And we shall discuss the dispersion of the prism in the next video lecture, because along with dispersion we will try to study the formation of rainbow also. So just the distribution of topics, don't be confused. So today's lecture is having only the refraction of light through the prism. Right. So this is the answer that you have to write in your CW. Fine. Explain the refraction of light through a prism. There are two parts. This is the first part that you have to write, the introductory line and this diagram as per the textbook. Pause the video and write this much down. Once you finish writing this much, you have to write this. This is the continuation to that answer. That's it. This is the angle symbol actually, right? Fine. I hope this is clear to you. So this section was important for some 1 mark question also. write definition of prism, then definition of angle of prism, and definition of angle of deviation also. These were the short 1 mark questions that can be asked. I request you to please write this down also in CW. According to you, you can see the video lecture and you can find these definitions also. Apart from this, you have to write this answer also in CW. Starting from here, part 1, explain the refraction of light through prism, introductory line and the diagram, and then continuation. This is the part 2 which you have to write in CW. I hope this is quite clear to you. So thank you very much my dear friends for listening to this video and watching this. We will now meet again in the next video lecture, and in the next video lecture we are going to see about the dispersion and rainbow, which is quite interesting to study. Fine. Till then, take very good care of yourselves and your family. Goodbye.